Performing arts, we have those items there. We have the performing arts in the band and the orchestra, and then also your world languages. Now with your world languages, also both in Whitman and Sandburg is broken up. So basically you have a part A and a part B. A part A, they can take in 7th grade. A part B, they can take in 8th grade. When they successfully complete both parts, that equals a high school credit. I share with students, when you receive that high school credit, that's equivalent going to your high school GPA. So they understand that that's a particular credit and that's going on their GPA, their grade point average. But it's not required. Once again, these are electives. And it's more, world languages offered. Leadership development. And here at the school, we have the Ambassadors Club. We have a lot of different things where students can be a part of the leadership. I encourage students to be a part of leadership. When they went to the tour on the other day, they had the student leadership doing the tours. So that's one of the things that they can see about this is what the leadership is. They share that they have planned dances for the school. They do different activities to help the school and making sure that it's a great place and a thriving place to be. So once again, these are all electives. Yes.
In reference to the world languages, are they able to take A and B in the 8th grade and satisfy with the high school credit, or do they have to be above the 7th and 8th grade?
So I can let you know that at Whitman, we have what's just called French 1 and Spanish 1. It would be a concentrated full year, but you can only take that in 8th grade. We offer that. We do have a military population, and it wasn't fair for those who maybe transferred and didn't have the choice, the option for 7th grade. We also had some kids who were in an intervention in 7th grade and then finished it, so we wanted to offer something for 8th grade. So French 1 and Spanish 1 is condensed, and then you would have one world language credit at the end of the year. So it also gives them the option too, if they want to do something for 7th grade and then they dive into their world language for 8th grade.
And that's only at Whitman, or is that?
I can only speak to Whitman, yeah.
And at Sam?
French and Spanish.
And at Sandburg, I'm looking at the course, they do offer 1 year of the Spanish 1. So you don't have to break it up. But some students want to break it up so they make sure they're, successful, and then they do the second part. But they do have an option at Sandburg to take a full year of Spanish 1. And also with that, I tell students they might see Spanish heritage speakers, and that means that they have to read and write in Spanish. Not saying that I have a Spanish background or my parents are Spanish, but they have to make sure that they can read and write in Spanish in order to take that course. Now these are the course catalogs. You can scan it here, and I have some copies down there. This will give you more information about all the electives. So make sure when you're looking at the course catalog, it says 7th grade, or you click 7th grade and not 8th grade. So for Whitman and Sandburg, both of those are up there, and make sure that we're looking at 7th grade. So overall, students will have 7 classes. The 5 required classes, which is the core classes, their math, their English, their history, their science, and health and PE. Everyone take those, whether honors or the standard. 2 electives. Although they're going to select 1 through 5 for one school, 1 through 8 for another school, you're going to end up, basically, your class is going to be within two electives. The 2 electives consist of 2-year-long courses, 1 year long plus 2 semester courses, or 4 semester courses. So basically, one semester you have 2 electives if you're doing the four semester courses, and then the second semester you have 2 electives. So with the students, this is why we have an hour long in the classroom with the lesson and going over their course selection so they understand how the electives work. The course sheets. Now, with Whitman, you're going to see this white sheet first. Everything on the white sheet is from the green sheet. The green sheet is the final copy that I give to Whitman. In the past, I've given this, they got lost, we had made changes 11 times, and for me, I don't like to I want to make sure we give a good, clear copy to the counselors so they're able to know, which one was actually 1, which one was actually 2. If we done erased it 3 and 4 times, and that looked like a 3 and it looked like a 4. So what I done last year, I made a copy of this. So this is basically their working sheet. So you're gonna see this first. They're gonna work on it in class. We do it together as a class. They take it back to you. You need to just initial it to make sure that you've reviewed it with them. You guys talked about it. Then it comes back. And then that's when that individual counseling, academic advising, I go over everything, making sure if they signed up for Avid, they have their application. If they did leadership, I make my initials. So I look over everything individually, and then at that moment, we transfer it onto the green copy. You will see this on your green copy. This right here, I'll go over this next. This is basically what we are doing, the teachers, the SPED support, ESOL support. So basically when you get the green one, and I'll go over this again and I'll send it in talking points. When we have transferred the information on the green one, your signature goes at the bottom, but this information doesn't have to be filled in. All right? So once again, I'll be going over that again and also sending out talking points, understanding the difference between the white and the green one. Any questions with that one? Okay. Now Sandberg, almost the same. They have a theme sheet as well. I'll go into the classroom and they will have a worksheet, same as that one. They will review it with their parents, they bring it back, and then we keep it because Sandberg actually comes to our school and they plug it in or they input it electronically. So one is paper and then both of them starts off with paper, and then the second one, Sandberg, they actually do it on electronically, and it gets put in that day. I don't have the date for that, they will be sending in the dates, but I'll be working with Sandberg students in February. ESOL and SPED academic support. I work with in collaboration with the ESOL and SPED teachers. This is an area where we put in academic support for the students if they need different supports in different areas. I do share with the students if they have support. One of those classes or some of their electives might have to be replaced with their support classes, and we encourage them to work to make sure, like maybe in 8th grade, I let them know you still have 8th grade to take an elective. So it's not saying that they're never taking an elective, but we want to make sure that they're supported and get into the area and growth that they need in order to be successful. So as reminders, our Sandberg Curriculum Night is happening, I believe January 18th. I'll send out another notice in talking points. Future events, Riverside, we have a promotion ceremony in June. Also, the middle school, both schools, Sandberg and Whitman, they have a Jumpstart program. We'll be getting information about that later. And what Jumpstart is basically they're going to the middle school, they're looking, going to the classrooms, and I don't know if our director can speak to that, but it's looking at going into the school. They have lunch and they have transportation provided as well. So I want you to be on the lookout for that as well. Also, last summer they did a VIP camp, and that was for a fee. So a lot of information come through the elementary for them going into middle school. So I wanted you guys to be aware of that, because sometimes papers don't get home or. So I think talking points is the best thing to send it out if the papers don't get home. Also up there is my email address if you want to email me with any other questions. And I want to thank you guys for coming out tonight. Also, if you have any individual questions, we have our colleagues from I have too many schools. From Whitman, they're here. If you have any individual questions, we have Ms. Mahiga. If you have any questions in reference to AAP, and then also I have any questions, if you have any other questions in reference to any general questions about the whole process as well. Any general questions right now? We can answer for the group.
When do we, if our children are in AAP and we wanted to opt into Whitman, when do we need to let them know by? Because we're not getting information from Sandberg until next week. So, and then, like, giving us time to make a decision that fits our family and our kid.
You can let me know as soon as possible.
Okay.
So in, between now and the 1st of February.
Okay.
I'm gonna tell you, hi, I was just gonna, if you don't mind, we're gonna keep it open. This is our first year. We're not gonna put a deadline on it. I'm gonna I told the kids, this week, all the schools have been visiting us at Whitman. June 1 would probably be the best because we're starting staffing. That's every school. I will have already be forming classes, but then if I have a solid answer by June 1, that would help me tremendously because then I start planning that puzzle called the master schedule. So making sure we have all the kids. I will tell you, when you work with Ms. Smith, like she said, when you're handing over with us, in the summer, then you really can start contacting us. All of our contact details are on the website. I work all during the summer, I'm at 12 months. So if you tell me what you want, I answer you. You can call me, but I will make sure of it. It really is our intentions is to bring our kids back to us because that's where we think they should be. So I will do everything and anything to make that happen, okay? Thank you.
And by June, like she said, everything will be already transferred to the middle schools. So that's why I was sharing, like if you have a strong interest that the student be going to Whitman, I can make that indication and let my contact counsel over the middle school know that, hey, let's make this change. The student is looking at the level for the AAP program at Whitman because they already did the course selection for the other middle school.
And I can add to that just a little bit since it is Whitman's first year next year doing this, but Irving has been doing a similar thing for several years. The difference in terms of scheduling for Whitman and Sandberg is going to be that because Sandberg is a center, like they're obligated to give the level 4 services, right? So there's no question when you say yes or no to Sandberg, like they have to say yes to you through 8th grade if you've been screened level 4, right? Whereas Whitman, we are building these classes and we are very much trying to honor what you will get at the center, so keeping those a level 4 total program rather than a percentage. And so that will be by class size. So if Ms. Hooper gets to a certain number, then it will sort of roll over. And at Irving, it's 30. I think you were talking about maybe even a little bit lower, but if it was 30 at Irving, then 31 begins a wait list, right? Until you get closer to 60. And then if it goes over 60, it becomes a wait list. So right now at Irving, for example, there's 60 AAP 8th graders, but there's 90 AAP 7th graders because there was enough for those class sizes. So the earlier the better because then you kind of secure your spot, but it will be an ongoing and like Ms. Hooper said, we really want everybody there. And the other difference is that we'll have probably capped classes so we can make that cap. Whereas because Sandberg has to offer those services, if they get to 30 and they have another kid or 4 other kids, their class sizes will be 34, right? So just more information for you all to know about.
Any other questions? Yes.
Do you know if TJ is IB or if they offer both?
They do offer IB, I think it's just AP.
It's just AP.
Yeah.
Any other general questions? All right, so at this time, if you have individual questions in reference to what we spoke about earlier, you have an opportunity to do that. Also, if you need to scan the course selection, you can do that. I have a couple of information about the Avid program, if you wanna take a picture of that as well. So thank you, very much for attending tonight, and once again, if you have any other questions after tonight, you can always email me. All right, thank you guys.